and hopefully everything works itself out. Hopefully we don't crash. If not, if it does crash and everything goes to shit, we'll just play some games, I guess, man.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
So, unsupported resolution. What? Hold on. This stupid shit. This should be good now, man. Stream resumed. The stream is continuing. What's up, Kamikaze?
Yo.
So I figured, well, you and I were talking, and it's funny because every now and then I'll go back and listen to some of the old ones we've done, and they're pretty good, man. And I figured we could maybe start this up, or at least be more consistent about it. Besides that, there's a shitload of stuff to talk about. There's been so many things announced, amongst others, the PlayStation 5, which I honestly didn't know too much about until yesterday. Thankfully, to guys like you, BMG, and a couple other people we talked to, kind of cued me in on a few things. The new Xbox, which just seems like a disaster, and we'll get into that for my own reasons. There's a GameStop return policy, I guess, that you had mentioned. Saw that you cover that, but man, in the meantime, if you guys are in the chat, you guys come in, drop your comments, drop your love, and we'll get to it. So I guess we'll start off the easy way, man. What have you been playing? What have you been up to?
I've been flip flopping between a few games. I know I'm like it seems like almost like a decade late, but playing Breath of the Wild. I question how the fuck that game got Game of the Year a little bit. I mean, I could see the appeal of it. Here's the thing, like my oldest son is like falling in love with it. Like he's obsessed with it. And every time I play it, I'm like, this game is so stupid. He's like, dude, it's just not your type of game. And I'm like, yeah, no, any game is my type of game if it's good. Like, but the thing is, it just frustrates me a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like, maybe my tastes have changed. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I just don't have patience anymore. But I've been flip flopping between a few games. Playing World War Z, which just came out not too long ago. It's actually a hell of a lot of fun. And just Modern Warfare and fucking Call of Duty. Black Ops 4 got a new map. Played a little bit of that. Yeah, man, I just been flip flopping between games. Whatever's just I feel at the moment. Really, nothing like dedicated game that I'm playing.
Man, I remember that. I kind of wanted to ask you about that World War Z because I was under the impression that was like a $60 game because I remember seeing something about it. I think it was E3 a couple years ago, and they had mentioned it, and it looked like a lot of fun. But I was on the PlayStation Store yesterday, or a couple days ago rather, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but is that game just essentially like just a horde mode game where you jump on with a few friends or randoms and just kill hordes of zombies?
No. So, did you ever play any of the Left 4 Dead games?
No, I haven't.
So you need to fix that immediately. Um, it's like that. It's different story aspects where it's New York, Jerusalem, Moscow, and Tokyo, and there's like four different survivors in four different areas, and you have like three missions of each city or continent or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, city, I guess it would be. And just like them dealing with the outbreak. And it's kind of like that movie World War Z with Brad Pitt, like how the zombies are like they're just like run really fast and make those like huge mounds of zombies. And you just have like little, objectives to tackle in the meantime, like while you're fighting off zombies, like online with friends. There's really not a story aspect. It's really just that. Left 4 Dead was pretty much like that as well. But Left 4 Dead had a lot more character.
Mm-hmm.
This game is just kind of just fucking shooting zombies and shit. But anyway, it's all right, man. It's a budget title. It's $40. I tried to get it on PC. It didn't work out. I got it. I did end up getting my refund. They refunded me, but I got it on PS4. I'm enjoying it, man. I'm actually surprisingly enjoying it.
So why'd you have to get a refund? You said you bought it on, was it Steam, or you bought it on that Epic system or whatever
Well,
that
it's
is?
only apparently it's not. It's only an Epic Store exclusive. I don't know how the details of that, but yeah, I got it on Epic Store. That was and the thing is, even worse is that was my very first Epic Store game purchase, and it flopped. But I don't blame Epic Store at all because it clearly was the game. It was there was rumor. I mean, not rumors, but like it was full dedicated forums of people complaining about the same thing problem that I had. So they clearly just screwed the pooch on it.
I, you know, see, and that's the thing that keeps me from buying like a $800 PC. That shit right there. Because everything's just too convenient for consoles. You know what I mean? And I feel like
But
if I spend that type of money on a PC, I'm just gonna play like PlayStation games on it, like PS2 games or GameCube games on it. You know what I
and
mean?
and I've heard that before. Like BMG said the same thing. But here's my thing. Like this is literally the second. I want to say third, but I can't really think of a third. But I can name two games off the top of my head that just did not flat out work with my PC. Out of the other 100 games that I've bought on PC, I've never had a problem. And I'm talking like major releases, newer releases like Battlefield 5 and what have you. Not a problem. Boots up immediately. Not an issue. So any of those games that I feel like I ever did have a problem with, it was with the developer and their shitty decisions.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, at least you got your money back, man. I'd have been pissed if you start a game off and it doesn't work. I mean, like I see that thing like from the outside with Epic Games and everyone throwing bitch fits about it, and from the surface level, I look at them like it just sounds petty. But then I hear stuff like this, and I'm like, well, maybe there's some volume to their complaints. So
Yeah, but here's the thing about PC though. I will say this. It does, here's the thing. All right, two things. There's not only just Steam and Epic Game Store. There's also Origins. There's
oh
fucking,
yeah.
Blizzard. I mean, and honestly, I have all of them. And
What
honestly,
else is there?
I I
Not to
use
mention the Microsoft Store too. I mean, you throw that on
right.
there as well.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Like, I use those same services as I would, like, different consoles. Different ones have exclusives. Different ones have different sales. So I utilize all of them. And I really don't really differentiate. I mean, Steam to me is a clear winner, in my opinion, just because of the clear volume
Oh, the
of games
volume
that
is
they
just
have.
insane. Yeah.
So, but I mean, my whole thing is, honestly, I don't really differentiate between any of them. I think they're all good and they all serve their own purpose. Oh, and that was my second thing was at least on PC you can get a refund because if I'd have bought the shit on PS4 and they just had clear
Yeah.
problems, you
They
could
need to,
not refund on console.
they need to fix that on the store, man. I wish they would do something about that because it keeps me from buying like a lot of games, that I'm like unsure about. Like I gotta be, especially when it comes to some of these indie games, man. I gotta know it's a good game. You know what I mean? Because I've played when it comes to indie games, man, you're always just rolling the dice.
Yeah,
At least it feels that way half the time. For every 10 game, for every like one good game, there's 20 really just terrible ones.
that's true.
I've been playing the Messenger. I mean, I actually took a bit of a gaming break, sort of. It's just been, and mostly just because I've been busy. But other than that, we hopped on Apex a few times, which I really enjoy. I'm glad there's a battle royale that's first person shooter where you don't shoot at somebody and they build a city, a fortress around themselves.
Yeah.
So I really like that. Plus I like the different types of abilities in that. I think it gives you makes it more fun to play. So a little bit of Apex here and there. We actually should probably get back on that again soon. It's been a little bit. The Modern Warfare remaster, obviously I've streamed that a few times. That's just, man, I forgot how much I love that game from like 2006 or 2007 from whenever I played it. 'Cause that was such a good game. And you know what?
Yeah.
I would play like the little bit of Fortnite that I played just to kind of test it out, but then like I would play Apex and just get killed. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm getting my ass handed to me, I'm like, okay, I can't be this bad at games anymore. And then I go on Modern Warfare and we just tear it up, man. So I'm like, okay, I'm not bad at games. It's just these new games. There's something about them. Apex would drive me crazy because it's like I know I'm not bad at it. I know I'm not bad at games, especially when it comes to first-person shooters. Man, you go down on Halo with me, and I'll tear you up. Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
It's just something about these battle royale games. They just make you go crazy, man. But it makes you want to play more for whatever reason. I guess it's the way they're designed. They're designed like that on purpose. It's like a drug, It's like
Gotta get that Mozambique. Mozambique over here.
you got to hear that. Did you hear that rap yet? You got to hear that rap, man. It's classic.
I think you're talking
I'll kick it
about
over
is
to
it
you.
Apex thing?
Yeah, it's the Lifeline rap.
I think I might have. Oh, I think I did hear that. But that Mozambique has like become a meme all into itself.
Oh yeah. One game actually. So we finally got settled in the new place Sunday night. I mean, we got the TV, the beds, everything situated, and I sat down. I got everything hooked up. You know what? I'm like, I'm gonna buy myself a game, Everyone's been talking up The Messenger, which is made by Devolver. It's a retro style indie game. It's kind of like Ninja Gaiden a little bit, almost like a Ninja Gaiden, whatever, / Castlevania feel. I'm really enjoying that, man. It's got some really good chiptunes music. It's a fun ass game. I'm probably gonna stream it at some point. So I really enjoy it. But that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much all I've been playing.
I saw a few streams of that, The Messenger. It's not really my thing, but it looks like it would be other people's thing. But I can see the appeal of it.
You can see how it's right up my alley then. What's up,
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
Retro? How you doing, man? Sorry I didn't have the chat open. Playing some Power Stone 2 on Dreamcast. It's a phenomenal game. Are you actually playing it on... Captain Retro is probably playing it on the Dreamcast, or I was going to ask you if you were emulating that, sir.
Power Stone games are so great. I mean, I would die for like an actual like one in this generation or even last generation, whatever, just some kind of indie thing. Some of it, Power Stone. I love those games so much.
So, moving on. We talked about what we've been playing. We kind of got caught up. As far as my channel goes, it's mostly going to be live streams. I just have no ambition to make videos, man. OG Hardware, of course. Of course, I knew it, Captain Retro. No ambition really to make new videos. I've kind of thought about doing vlogs here and there, but I don't know. I'd rather just play games and stream when I can. I saw you're at 500 subs now, Kamikaze.
Yeah, it only took like fucking 3.5 something odd years to get there, but I mean, I appreciate it. I absolutely do.
Well, your videos are just too long, man.
Apparently so.
Yeah, look, it needs to be about 56 seconds.
Apparently it needs to be like -1 second. Like, just don't even make it. Just
and 3 is too long. What's up, Tail Gunner? What's up,
just
Born
make
Distracted?
Just
no
make it not,
vlogs? Yeah.
Just make it not even exist. Just negative seconds. Just fucking don't even do it. Go back in time.
You know what? Just don't make YouTube videos. Like, that's what he should have said. Just don't make YouTube videos. You know what, bro? Yeah. You suck. Stop.
Just fucking kill yourself.
Oh, jeez. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, just private message me. I'll give you a link with a timestamp. Oh, man. PlayStation 5 has been confirmed, obviously. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when. I guess we still don't know when because I don't think there's a release date on the PlayStation 5. PS5 release date will be in November of 2020. Okay. So we don't have an exact date. Now, I've got a picture here, and I don't know if this is what it's actually going to look like. Did they actually show the console yet? Because
no, they showed the dev console, what I guess they ship out to developers for let them test it or whatever. So it's basically just a black box with a disk drive on it.
So we're going to go down the list of things here. We got a release date of November 2020. And again, I don't know if that's confirmed. I'm here at PS5. It's PS5, PlayStation5.com. I don't know if this is a legit site. This is what came up on the Google when I typed it in. The big thing that has me excited is, and this is confirmed, is that it's backwards compatible for the PS4. So normally when I buy a console, I don't normally buy one at launch because for the simple fact that usually you have maybe 1-2 good games. I mean, unless it's a total blockbuster like Breath of the Wild. Yeah, my TV might be loud. You guys might hear that. I do apologize. I'm not going to buy a console day one. However, if it's backwards compatible, which the PS5 is going to be, you do have a little bit of... I mean, you already have your library. Apparently, this thing's going to make PS4 games load like super fast. They're talking about the Spider-Man. You played Spider-Man, so you know about those long loads for your fast travels. Those are going to happen in like less than a second now, apparently.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of... You're going to have your library essentially retained. Hopefully they don't do it. The only thing I'm kind of on the fence about, and I do need this to be confirmed, is if they're going to have it kind of how Xbox did it, where they kind of sprinkle it in to where Xbox 360 titles, like some of them played, and then as the time went on, more and more would play on it. So I'm curious how PlayStation's going to do that. But either way, PS5, I mean, the backwards compatibility is huge. I think they're taking a page out of Microsoft for that. And yeah, Tail Gunner, we'll talk about Xbox here in a bit. So what's up, Video Game Virus? How you doing, sir? God damn it, my TV's fucking loud. Guys in the chat, let me know if you can hear that, man. I'll turn my mic down on my end. My wife's watching TV. The new setup in the house, Kamikaze, is probably loud as fuck for you because I got you on my Snowball. The new setup is kind of like one big open concept, and I kind of have like my office and my dining room area. So JRPG Gaming says it's loud. All right, hold on. So yeah, give me your thoughts on the PlayStation 5. Is this a day one buy for you or no?
I mean, I think I said it somewhere in there, but the only console I've ever bought day one was a Dreamcast, and that's for multiple reasons. But it was the very first console to ever go online, so like that was groundbreaking at the time. So honestly, I was in the shower. Sometimes when you get in the shower, you just have these like profound fucking thoughts. Sometimes. This is probably a stupid thought anyway at the end of the day when I actually say it out loud. But hey, I think a lot of people were probably like, I'm not going to buy a PS5 right off the gate because what if it has problems and what if the console doesn't work? Can you really think of any console other than the Xbox 360 that had the rapid red ring of death? No other console has really like had huge, significant fucking problems. Or am I crazy about that? The only one I could think off the top of my head would be Xbox 360.
PS3 had some issues, man, but it was like I think later on in the lifespan of it, it wasn't right away. I can't remember which version it was, but it had like some power issue. You turn it on and like it would turn yellow or whatever. But I mean, aside from that, I'm trying to think the issues we had with like the PS2 and the original Xbox, they weren't. I mean, they came later and they were just console like they were just it was just hardware failure after overuse. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a problem from launch.
Right.
So yeah, I think you're right, man. With the exception of the 360. Yeah, and dude, honestly, I had this conversation the other day with somebody, and they're like, "Oh, you should wait." I'm like, "Well, if there's if there's a game that I want to play, I'm gonna fucking buy it." And they got real weird. "Oh, I'm just trying to save you money." I'm like, "I don't need you to save me money, man. Like you're not my accountant."
Right.
You're not my financial advisor. If it breaks, and I don't get a warranty, whatever, I'll just go get a new one. I don't care. I mean, I know not everybody has that mentality, so I kind of get like the being cautious about it. For me, it was always about games that were, available at launch. And honestly, the backwards compatible thing for me is huge because I could trade my PS4 in. Maybe I'll get $100. Maybe I sell it on Facebook. I get $150 for it. Maybe the PS5 is $499. I pay $350 for a PS5. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I think the problem is, and I don't know if this is a problem, or I'm gonna say it. I might get some flack for this, but maybe a lot of gamers aren't like, and I don't know if I want to speak for you, and I'll speak for myself, but I think that you'll concur with what I'm saying is that, a lot of people who probably are very self-indulgent in video games may not have like disposable income like I do. Like if I can afford any console that comes out, like it's not a problem and it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like some people are so on the fence about spending that money, and maybe that's just the wrong thing to say, but
no, I'm kind of on the same page as you are, man. And that's why I kind of added the fact that like I get that mentality, but that's not your reason for waiting. Your reason for waiting is you don't have the money. You know what I mean? Like
right.
It sounds shitty. It sounds shitty, but
it's true.
Yeah. like no, you're not waiting. You're not waiting because it doesn't have, because it might break. You're waiting because if it does break, you can't afford another one. Like,
well, here's my thing with
maybe that's like pompous and arrogant, but that's the truth of the matter.
And my thing with the PS5 is, here's the thing. Like, I bought an Xbox 360 months after it released, and I still had the red ring issue. So, I mean, if they're going to have problems, it's not going to be like they're only going to make 10, and these going to be, these gerbils, whoever buy these first 10 are going to be testing it out. Like, no, it's going to be pretty rampant for at least the first 6 to 8 months. So if there's any problems with it, even if you wait 6 months, you're probably still going to incur whatever problem that fucking console has. Will that happen? Highly doubt it. It's 2019. I feel like that shit's probably the way of the dinosaur. We're not going to probably have any issues with the console. But I will say, the rumor says to be 500, and if it was 600, I I would kind of be on board with 600. I mean, from the specs that I've seen, what they're promising, all the things that they have, I'm kind of okay with $600. I mean, I would prefer it to be $500, of course. But there's no price point set. I know people are saying $499, but clearly that has not been set at all. That it's $499 at all whatsoever from Sony whatsoever.
Yeah.
They basically said that we're going to price it at what it's worth. But I do say that PlayStation 3, I think, made a terrible decision with how much they priced that console out, and that kind of set them back a lot. So hopefully they've learned from that.
And I think they will. The big thing is, what's the new Xbox going to cost? I mean, you're getting to the realm now where these consoles are pushing 4K resolution. They're powerful consoles. I mean, they're, that PC gamer elitist won't like this, but they're on par with good PCs now. You know what I mean? It's not like it was when it was the early 90s or mid 90s or shit, even the late 90s, where your PCs were, generations ahead of your consoles. It's not like that anymore. So $599 is tough. That's a tough sell for me. I mean, like I said, I think at that point I would need it to have some serious first-party titles at launch that I really want to play. And then, when it comes to consoles, though, at the same time, too, like, I'm just a sucker for new stuff. I got the Xbox One X when it was launched. The Xbox One I bought pretty close to launch. I think it was like a month after. The Xbox 360 was a couple months after. I mean, pretty much my entire adult life, I've bought consoles close to launch. But never really, I don't think I ever day one a console. I mean, just for me, because it was like, actually no, I day one the Switch. Now that I think about it, because they had Breath of the Wild. So that was the only reason why I bought that. I literally spent what was it, $299 at launch?
I think that sounds about right.
I spent $270 to play Breath of the Wild. After taxes, it was like close to $300. Yeah, but that's what you can do. That's what you can do when you're an adult, Chris. You can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the console wars. I'm like, console wars were for us '90s kids
because we had one. Yeah,
our parents bought us one console, and that was what you died on that hill, man. It don't matter how bad it was. I mean, you would freaking. That's what the console wars are for. And now it's like, I mean, even look at it today. I was messing around with my daughter because I literally gave her my Xbox. I'm like, this thing sucks. You can have it. She's like, PlayStation sucks. The controller sucks. I'm like, yeah, PlayStation got more first party titles. She's like, it has Fortnite. I'm like, dude. She's like, it has Sims. I'm like, those are third party titles. But that's the generation who plays Xbox. That's really their market, man. It's just kind of like the casual, like, kids want a console. Their parents buy them the $299 Xbox that they see, because they want to play Fortnite. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. All right, if you did ask me if I would buy a day one, I have no intention of buying a day one, and only for the simple fact that I know it'll be hard to get. It will sell out probably. There'll be lines for it, and I just don't give a fuck to like a console day one that much to deal with that type of shit.
If I can pre-order it, and like stop on my way home from work or whatever, that's probably what I'll do.
And just casually pick it up.
Yeah, that's what I do with the Switch.
I don't think
I'm not waiting. Yeah, I'm not waiting in line for shit, dude. Fuck that. I'm not doing that shit.
I'm not waiting outside with the fat guy with a fucking Fallout 4 T-shirt who wants to talk about shit. I'm not waiting outside with that guy. Like, it's not happening. You know what I mean? If I can leisurely pick it up at my own convenience and pre-order it, absolutely, I'm cool with that. But I know that won't be the case, and that's actually kind of my main reason for not wanting to buy it day one. I'll pick that motherfucker up, 6 months from now. And I mean, nothing's going to change that. Nothing's going to change in 6 months. Maybe a game or two is going to be released. But I mean, I'll be fair and I'll be honest. I mean, some of the fucking launch titles for some consoles have been great. But I mean, on average, they just kind of range as a test for that console and just kind of, some games are okay. But I will say, like, if Xbox released like their new, the thing is, I don't think any console has ever really dropped with a game selling game that I can think of other than the Dreamcast. They just had a great lineup. But here's my thing also is that if Halo dropped or Xbox dropped with like Halo 6, like I would be at the fucking door with that same guy wearing that Fallout shirt. I would be waiting outside. That's different. You know what I mean? Like that game would sell that console, not the console selling that game.
Cyrus, there's no doubt in my mind you were going to day one PS5. No doubt in my mind. Born Distractor says pre-order from GameStop and hope they don't got a business before it's released. Good one. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not normally one who suffers from FOMO, fear of missing out. So, I mean, because I'm generally just so busy with life, because here's what'll happen. Like if PS5 like launched tomorrow, if it came out and it had like the new God of War. No, if it was a new God of War, I would play it. I would literally drop everything to play it.
Right.
So,
Well, see that. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
it
they
needs something
need
like
those
a new
games.
God of War. Yeah, yeah, you're right. And probably anything other than a God of War. I'm not. Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe I won't day one it. I don't know. I don't know. Unless it'll do like my PS4 games at 4K, I would maybe consider it because I got my 4K set in the living room. So.
Oh, so yeah, PlayStation 5 apparently is trying to future-proof itself where it is compatible with 8K. Probably not like right off the gate. They'll probably do updates, etc. along the way. But apparently it will be compatible with 8K because, we're not stopping at 4K. We're always going to be progressing. And 8K will be the norm probably the next year or two. You know what I mean? So they are kind of future-proofing themselves, which is probably a really smart idea.
That's smart. Well, they kind of did that with PS4 kind of did that, but it wasn't with the 4K. It was with high HDR, because base PS4s actually have HDR built in. I don't know how many people know that. So if you have an HDR set, it's got that nice little feature. What the Xbox One didn't have that until they released the S. 8K, man. Jeez, do they even? I mean, do they even have? Obviously, they have TVs that have 8K, but I mean, that's probably such a small percentage of people. It's like not even.
Will it pay PS1 through 3? I highly doubt it. And when it comes to the backwards compatibility, it will probably do. It will. They are saying it will do PS4 games, but it probably more than likely will be select PS4 games. Same way the Xbox did, like John said. It's going to be select. It's not going to be the full roster. They're not going to play like fucking, Hello Kitty Racing on PS4. Like, no, they're not going to support that shit. It'll be like the main big titles and some other, third-party games.
I think it really just kind of. I think it depends on maybe the architecture of the system, because if you look at the PS2 actually had a PS1 literally built into the system. I doubt they're going to do that here, just because it would be like astronomically expensive. So yeah, you're probably right. They probably will kind of trickle it out how Xbox did it, and it'll probably be like major first party titles, stuff like Horizon and God of War,
right?
Shit like that will probably be backwards compatible day one.
I've always found it kind of at launch for a console to do that smart, but at the same time kind of dumb. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Is that it is smart for them to incentivize their new console, but I think they know there's that huge market of people who are not like, I gotta buy what's fucking new, and people who are a lot of budget shoppers who will actually buy a system once the new one's released because of how much the price drop is to play some of those older games, and it doesn't bother them. So that's my 2 pennies on fucking backwards compatibility. I think it's a smart thing, and I also think that it's kind of a dumb thing at the same time. But from someone who never gets rid of their old consoles, it doesn't bother me in the slightest if they have it or they don't have it.
I mean, I'm trying to think if I get rid of my stuff. I mean, I don't have my 360 anymore, and that's only by default because the one I was using I gave to my kids and it broke. But honestly, once I got my 360, or once I got my Xbox One, I didn't touch my 360. When I got my Xbox 360, I stopped playing my PS2. So I'm not typically one that goes back to my old stuff once I have a new one, because typically when games are released, when in that little crossover period, they're either on both or they're on the newest gen. You know what I mean? So there's really never any reason to go back to it. So I have no quarrels with it. I mean, I barely touch modern gaming as it is, So it's not something that would be a big barrier for me.
Right.
You know, it wouldn't be a determining factor. I mean, the, but at the same time, you know, maybe I have a couple PS4 games I never played. Are they going to be compatible? That's a nice feature to have. You know, oh,
Right.
cool, I can play it on my, you know, on my PS5.
Yeah, Sai says that he confirmed that it'll be backwards compatible. Yeah, and he did, but I honestly feel, even with that being said, I don't feel like you're going to put any PS4 game in that thing and it's just going to run it. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they will have patches here and there to have them have certain games backwards compatible. For them just to have a fucking PS4 processor on top of it, that's like they're probably going to, if that's the case, they'll put a huge high point price on it like they did with the PS3. Because remember when the PS3 first released, it was backwards compatible, and they cut that shit out within a year, I think, or less. Do you remember that?
Well, no, it was longer than that because the PS3 was backwards compatible with I think all PS1, and the first two models were backwards compatible with PS2. So after the first model was fully compatible, the second model was like 80 to 90%, and then after that they cut it off. So I think it was probably maybe 3 years, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
3 years or maybe a little bit more.
I feel like it was a lot less. I feel like those newer PS3 came out like within a year. I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah, I never owned a PS3, to be honest with you. The only PS3s I ever owned, I sold.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Like, I got a PS3 because our house got broken into, my Xbox got stolen, and my wife ended up buying me a PlayStation 3. She's like, just try something new out, and I got it, and I fucking hated it because I'm sorry, I wasn't a PlayStation 3 fan, and ended up getting an Xbox 360 shortly after buying that. But so I could be completely wrong about that. I wasn't into the whole PlayStation 3 like really at all. You know, like it wasn't a console for me, man. Just didn't sell it on me.
I think what happened with me was, for me, it was a price thing at the time because I had my PS2 because I was in the Navy at the time, but me and my wife were living together, and I was essentially it was the way I was working, I wasn't working in the shipyard, and so I had like a normal life, you know. So I was home, I was home every night. So I was like, you know what, man, this new Xbox, I'm not sure if the PlayStation was out yet. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, my wife said we bought the Xbox to have an HD DVD player. I remember that. That's what happened. Well, no, because I got the TV later. Because remember we had that old TV, and I remember I was playing Dead Rising or whatever it's called, and the text wasn't coming up on right on my old CRT. I could barely read it because it was like made for a new television. So. But I think the PS5 or the PS3 wasn't out yet, and I remember looking at the price of the PS3, and I'm like, "Oh, $599? Yeah, not a chance in hell."
Oh yeah, that was
like,
expensive,
no way.
man.
And then even after that, my 360 red ringed, and the PS3 was still like crazy expensive, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go buy a Wii, and that's how I got my Wii. Played that for like a year or two, and then finally went back to a 360, and I just never got around to buying. There were so many good games on the 360, man. I just had I had zero ambition to buy a PS3.
360 is better than PS3, and I will fight you on this.
Oh yeah, I mean the sales. The only reason why the sales are even close and why PS3 sold more was because of the Eastern market, the Japanese market, just propped it up. I mean. If you would have just taken, I mean, I'm curious what the numbers would be if you just compared the Western market. But yeah, the 3DO was 700. You would think, and 700 back when the 3DO came out was probably, by today's standards, over $1,000. So, but yeah, man. So moving on. So we got news on the PS5. I'm pretty much sold on a day one buy for me, Kamikaze. I think you might wait a couple months, like you said, unless there's some like big title that comes with it.
Yeah, not unless like it comes like with something that like I don't know, just groundbreaking. But you know, I mean, I'm gonna buy it, of course. I mean, I just don't. I mean, if it's like in demand and I can just casually walk into a Best Buy the day after it's released, buy it. Yeah, sure, I'll buy it. But I'm not gonna sit there and wait in line or do all. I mean, that's kind of partially the reason that I won't buy it. It's a few months for it back on the shelves, and that's when I'll pick it up. And I have nothing but time on my hands. I'm good.
Yeah. So, having said that, yeah, Xbox has to win me back. I'm not. I have zero ambition anymore to play anything Microsoft. They just, I don't know. They just don't have the games. I just don't care. They have a lot of work to do, in my opinion. So, having
Yeah.
said Xbox, man, there's a new discless system, and I honestly haven't read too much about this. Obviously, it's an Xbox One S with no disk drive. And the crazy thing about this is, you would think, okay, so if I were to ask you why Xbox would do this, what were some of the reasons you would tell me?
Um. Well, two things. They're trying to. You know what? I've come to the conclusion that they probably did not sell as many S's as they wanted to. They took them back. They took them back to the fucking factory, removed the dish shit, painted over it, and now they're trying to resell them for something else.
Wait, are we sure these aren't Soldier consoles, man? Because they look a lot like a Soldier console.
So, boy, too. Woo.
There's no disk drive in the Soldier console, man. But okay, so for me, I look at this and I'm like, okay, for the for the majority of it, okay, Microsoft tends to they really do try to be consumer friendly. There's a lot of stuff that Microsoft does where you look at it. I mean, you look at the way how they offer their games to the PC market. A lot of people don't like that, but it is a very consumer friendly approach to gaming. They're trying to get their games in the hands of just every gamer and not just Xbox owners. So, with their history in doing stuff like that, my thing was, okay, this is maybe you look at the generation of kids now, say 21 and under. I would call them the mostly digital gamers. They don't care about physical media like some of us do. So, for them, they're kind of targeting that market here because there's no that market for that. But at the same time, maybe they're making this more affordable for mom and dad to run out to get, little Billy a Xbox that he just wants to play Fortnite on. So my thinking is, okay, this thing's going to be cheaper. But the problem is it's not. I guess this thing's still going to be either $249 or $299. It's not any less cheaper than a 1S. So, I just don't understand Microsoft's mentality here. Help me out here, man. It makes no sense.
So I saw a video today that kind of put it into perspective, and it kind of made sense to a degree. Microsoft's got money to burn, right? Microsoft could they could have money to burn all goddamn day, right? Whether people believe that or not, they do. I assure you. So they said that they put out this console to test the market ground to see where people would be at to buy a digital system, right? When they released the S all those years ago, why didn't they do that option then? Because that would have been the perfect proving ground to find out who would buy a console that will take the disc and one that doesn't. Don't you think that would have been the perfect time for them to do that instead of waiting until all this time when you already have three other choices of a console? You have an original, you have an S, you have an X, a no disc system. I mean, that just makes no sense in my opinion. Now, here's the thing: if they would have done that in the beginning, released both, it would have made more sense, and they could have a lot more data on that shit. You're releasing the fourth console in your lineup, which is absolutely fucking Sega. Fucking listen. We had the Sega fucking CD, 32X. What else? I mean, they're basically pulling a Sega at this point. There's 4 fucking consoles. It's ridiculous to me. But my whole point is, if they wanted to test that ground of who would buy the system, wouldn't it make more sense if they would have done in the beginning? Find it kind of lean towards which way they were selling. I mean, of course they're going to fucking sell the disc because it's 2019. 2028 or 30. I'm sorry. You guys are, with your physical shit, it's over with by then. But
yeah. Yeah, we're getting a choppy stream here. We're getting some complaints in the chat. I swear, I swear this is a combination of Skype and YouTube. It has to be because and everything else I stream on, I have no issues. The second I jump on Skype or YouTube, I have streaming issues, man. I can stream on PS5 wireless all day. I'll have zero frame rate issues, zero buffering. The second I get on Skype, it's just a shit show. So, can you hear me all right? Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I'm trying to see if you can hear me.
Yeah, your voice is a little like it comes in kind of slow right now.
Yeah, tell Gunner
Yeah, I
thanks,
can hear you
man.
now.
Yeah, he said it's all good. We all know live has issues. Yeah, but YouTube
But no, I mean for the
YouTube
discless system,
sucks.
I mean, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, you would think with all the money they make on freaking I don't know all the money Google has, you could like fix your architecture, you bastards. Jeez. But yeah, you're right, man. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. Um, it's when you say they're pulling a Sega. If you would have told me this a year ago, I would have said, maybe not. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do at this point. And this goes back to the whole thing about why I have no faith in Microsoft and why, like, when PS5 comes out, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm sticking with Sony. I mean, Microsoft is going to have to do something like phenomenal, you know. And unfortunately, I mean, it's okay to have a generation where you're a little like down and you don't do so good.
I think they will. I think they got. I guess I really feel that Microsoft just has something up their sleeve.
I don't know, man. People have been saying that for 2 years now, though. You know, how long are you gonna let that go on? So hey, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm gonna hang up on Skype and try and call you back because it's telling me poor connection, and I think we're having some communication issues. I'm gonna hang up on him. Give him a call back. Let's see where we're at here.
Yo.
How about now? How about now?
Uh,
We're failing at life. We're failing miserably.
yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. So this stream might be ending early due to it, due to shittiness. So we're probably gonna get on PS4 anyways, guys. If you wanna come over there, I'm sure one of us might be streaming. So I know you guys can hear me. Me and Kamikaze for whatever reason are having communication issues. So I'm just going to go ahead and end it. We pretty much covered all our topics to begin with. I think the only thing I didn't cover was this GameStop. There's a new GameStop program. I guess it allows you to trade in any game for full value. I think within the first couple days. So Dallas has two football teams. Yes, and they probably both suck. At least one of them does. I hope you're still on to hear me say that. But I wasn't too caught up on that policy. I was going to let Kamikaze pretty much cover that. So let me see if I can still. Let's see something here. How would you rate the quality of this call? Terrible. Skype, you suck. I think the next time we do this, I'm going to have something fixed as far as like either using, what's that new one called that everybody uses? I can't think of it right now. I'm going to brain fart. But yeah, try that one. I heard you, bro. You didn't hear me. Next stream, if we do it, it's either going to be on a Friday or Saturday night. I'll post something on my channel, Tail Gunner, so you'll know. Oh, one is in the XFL. Okay. We may need to. We may need to go to. We may need to go to the PS4 for this one. So guys, I'm going to end it. Thanks for coming on. It wasn't a terrible stream. I mean, until the end when everything got shitty. So I'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here, guys. Take it easy.